Good Friday morning, everyone. How y'all doing? There we go. We got a little y'all there. There we go. We got another one. Good deal. Glad to see everybody. Today is Friday, July 8th, 2022, and this is your Friday morning meeting. Well, welcome everybody, especially a big shout out to all the new folks here. Want to say, give another shout out to all of our drivers running down the road delivering freight. Hopefully, if you're listening to this, you're parked at a truck stop or parked at a rest area if you're listening live. But if you view it later on because you had to deliver a load, thank you for what you do. Thank you for being out there running the freight and doing all the work for us. So we really appreciate it. So this being the Friday morning meeting, this is an open forum. We're very transparent. If you have questions on any topic here at Prime, relating to Prime, please ask, because we will do our best to answer that. And we got a lot of important folks here in the room, and we'll go around and introduce a few of them here in a minute. First, though, I'd like to take it up to our Salt Lake City terminal. Do we have Mr. Troy Rich up there? Troy?
Good morning. How's everybody in Springfield, Missouri?
We are doing good, Troy. We're looking for a little rain, but hopefully it'll be coming eventually down the road for us. Other than that, we're just dealing with some big heat right now.
Yeah, that's where we're at. Today we're like going to be like 102, and that's going to stay around there for the next 2 weeks. They're saying no rain in the forecast, but it's beautiful out here at 102. Our humidity is about 15%. Where are you guys at?
Yeah, you got that, what they call that, quote, dry heat, right?
That's right. Yeah, it's beautiful out here. But yeah, we're having a great time. We got about 20 people here today. Not too many, not too overcrowded, just perfect. You know, doesn't overwhelm our cafeteria staff too much. So it's a good morning out here.
Well, this is a holiday week. I'm sure next week will be a little bit different. But what's going on in Salt Lake other than that, Troy? You got any good news out there?
You know, it's just constant. We don't have a lot of problems. That's the good thing. Our training's going really well. We've got a lot of PSDs getting ready to take their CDL tests, which is, you know, big for us. Get a lot of students out there and get them in trucks and start making some money.
There you go. That's the name of the game right there. So train them up and train them good. So anyway, if you got any questions, Troy, let us know. We'll get you on the mic.
We will. Thanks, bud.
All right. Going out the other direction, Pittston, Pennsylvania. Do we have Ricky up there?
Good morning. How y'all doing?
We are doing good. How about you, Rick?
Hey, we're doing well. We're doing well.
You have a little event last night you went to?
We had a little dinner last night, yeah. Dinner and some cocktails.
There you go. How'd it go? Pretty good time?
It was a good time. Robert was in and Steve was in, and it's always a pleasure having those guys visit up here. There
you go. I hear you. What's going on in Pittston this week?
You know, it was a light class this week, so it went smooth. Everybody's down the pad. They're training up and getting that CDL license, and same thing as Troy. You know, we're getting them getting the CDL and getting them in trucks.
Good to hear, man. If you guys got any information, any questions, let us know. We'd love to get you back on the mic.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, back here to Springfield. How's everybody doing this morning? There we go. It's not too bad. We got kind of a light crowd here too, Steve, as well. So this morning up here, we're looking at each other, but up here, I got joining me. I got Steve Field. Steve's our safety director. It's great to have him back. You've been off a few weeks. It's not because of vacation, to say the least, but
I've been out working, Dave. But
you're going.
You know, it is good to be back among friends. You know, it was a holiday week. Holiday weeks are always a challenge in trucking. You know, I hope those folks that wanted to get home and spend time with their family were able to. As Dave said, those that were out trucking, we certainly appreciate you. Our customers look for our support out there 365 days a year, and you guys give it to them. I can tell you your reputation out there within the industry could not be any better. it's a holiday week. We'll kind of get through this, and then we're going to have that push to Labor Day. And, I feel real confident about these next couple of months as far as freight goes. We've, a lot of positive things out there that we're very fortunate for. So we do appreciate you being here. We don't have as many of our PSDs, but there's probably a chance if we have some new folks today that are just kind of hanging around here. Would you mind standing up for a minute? We'd just like to see who the new folks are that joined our family this week. Don't be shy. We're not going to bite you. I know there's some. Somebody wasn't shy. And, it's good to have new folks. Growth is so important to us. And, as we bring these folks in, we kind of mold them in the image of ourselves. We like to train our own folks. We like to make them in the image of ourselves and good, safe, professional drivers out there. So the crowd may be a little light today, but we're out there on Facebook Live, YouTube Live. We try to make these meetings informative, that you want to attend them, that you want to hear it. Get yourself a free breakfast and the opportunity to ask questions. So we got a lot of good speakers today, so I think we'll go ahead and get started. You want to start with safety today?
Yeah, I would. But first, I'd like to give a shout out to the few folks around here. How about our cafeteria folks? If you could put your hands together, all three terminals. Yeah. If you haven't got breakfast this morning, make sure you get it. Get your drink, your specialty drink, whatever you'd like over there in the cafeteria. That's what this is for, the Friday morning meeting. Also, too, I want to give a big shout out to our IT folks over here, Brianne and Richard, for putting this all together. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have this meeting because Steve and I sure couldn't figure out this electronic stuff. So big thank you to them. Also, yeah, give them a round of applause. They do a great job here. Also, Mitch and Aspen and Amy over here running the Facebook Live and YouTube Live and all that too. It's great having them as well, making this even a better meeting, getting it out to more people, and that's what it's all about. So, but let's talk about a little bit about safety this morning, Steve. It's important, no doubt, and that's why we're here. This past week, 132 inspections. 93 of those were clean, so a 70% clean rate. That's pretty good. Yeah, we're right up there. We're hanging in there every weekend, upper 60s, low 70s, no doubt. We did have a couple of failed inspections, unfortunately, and I was talking to Dennis, and every week, one of us safety supervisors, we sign off on those inspections, and every week, Steve looks at all those inspections, so he gets a look at every single one of them. But we kind of struggled this past week a little bit on missing scales, and I just wanted to go over that. Important to know where scales are at, and where that starts is before you begin your trip. Make sure you trip plan. Trip plan a lot of stuff you need to, but one of the most important is knowing where the scales are at. Just not rely upon GPS to tell you or your pre-pass to tell you, because once again, those are just tools. They don't always work out there on the road. And so that being said, make sure you are prepared. If you got a scale come up, for instance, you're heading from here to Joplin or here to California, I should say, taking a load out that direction. Need to know the first scale you're going to be coming up to. Is it Joplin? Which one is it down in Oklahoma? Moving your across the way. The other direction, if you're going up towards Chicago, same thing. You got one up here at St. Clair County. They got one. Where's the first one in Illinois? Being prepared before you get there, so you know if you have to stop or not. That being said, if you get that in-cab warning or you don't get it, that notification, if you don't know what to do, if that scale's open, you by all means, if you feel, hey, I don't know what signal I got, I'm a little confused. Do I stop? Don't I stop? Always stop. You're better to be safe than sorry. You don't want to have an officer chase you, pull you over, say, hey, you missed the scale back here, follow me. Because now you're behind the 8 ball and they're going to start looking at other things, and they're going to start looking at all the maintenance on the truck and this and that, and that can lead to more violations. So be prepared, know when to stop, where to stop, where all the scales are. Also, seat belts too. That was another one we had a few this past week that we could work on. Make sure you wear your seatbelt properly. It has to be over your shoulder, nice and taut against your chest. Can't have your arm over it. Can't have it loose hanging down. If you do, they will write you for just like not wearing a seatbelt. So wear your seatbelt at all times, just in case if you have to brake hard or if you have an accident, you're much more safe with the seatbelt on than without. So anything you want to add to that, Dog?
I thought I might add just a couple of things to both of the points there. And, what concerns me on the missing scales is the potential that someone is distracted out there. We've got to be focused on driving. I was reading an article the other day of how many distractions have been placed in, whether it's cars or trucks. If you go back 30 or 40 years, it was like an AM radio and a cigarette lighter, and that was about it. But we need to be focused out there when we're driving. We cannot be distracted. The roads are getting more dangerous. There's no doubt about that. The statistics, as they come out, the accidents are up. People are driving more recklessly. I think as far as big trucks, we'll probably get a break even maybe, but there's a lot of distraction out there, and I don't want us to be part of it. I want us to be focused out there, that we know the scale's coming. And, and I remember back in the day, and I'm sure Dave does as well, you kind of, oh crap, was that scale open or closed that you saw the sign for? And it is hard to catch everyone, but we need to. That's the expectation, that if the scale's open and we're directed in there, we're going to go in. And Dave was exactly right. Last week, we didn't do real well on that. And we should not ever miss a scale. But enough about that. You know the deal on that. And on the seatbelts, I'm a big believer in seatbelts. Seatbelts save lives. Sometimes you'll see a picture of a crash, whether it's a prime truck, hopefully it's not, or another truck, and literally the driver walked away from it. And you go, how is that possible? And it's because of the quality of the equipment, the safety technology that goes into the trucks, and seatbelts. You've got to be belted in there to survive an accident like that. So please wear your seatbelt. It makes a difference out there, and we don't want to see anybody get hurt. Every one of you is precious. Every one of you is important to us, but even more importantly, important to your family. Please wear your seatbelt out there. Enough preaching for me on those two topics. I apologize if it seemed like preaching, but it is important. Dave?
No doubt. Brianne, could you pull up that picture I sent you? I know I didn't talk to you before the meeting. I probably should have, but we got a little picture here of a couple issues we've had this week with dropping trailers. And when the weather gets warm out there, asphalt gets soft. There's no doubt about it, especially if you're dropping a loaded trailer. Make sure you drop that trailer on a cement pad if you're going to drop it, or dirt lot or something like that. Asphalt is not really the best way to go when it gets so hot, because this is what can happen right here. Those dolly legs go right down into the asphalt and it just sinks right in. And then we got to get a wrecker out there to get it lifted up. And I looked at one wrecker bill this past week. It was $600 just to lift the trailer up and get it moved off. So that's expensive and money that nobody needs to pay, our drivers or our company. So that being said, make sure you hit those cement landings like that if there is one. If it's a dirt lot, you're a little bit safer, but the asphalt, and it's been hot here in the Midwest, out west, everywhere, and the asphalt gets a little soft. And so keep that in mind when you're dropping trailers. Just wanted to bring that up. We had a few issues, and hopefully our operators will learn from there. So.
We did. But overall, summer is the best time as far as safety goes out there. I do want to make a comment about how well you've been doing out there basically the last 13 weeks. We're constantly looking at our accident numbers, our statistics, comparing it to the previous year, seeing where we can improve. But really, the last 13 weeks, you've all knocked it out of the park. And I want to thank you for that, because accidents are expensive. They're expensive. It comes off the bottom line, and there's always the risk to life, your life, and the motoring public out there. We are professional drivers. We have a responsibility to the motoring public to drive professionally, to drive responsibly out there. And you guys do that. You do it every day out there. On an average week, probably 15, 16 million miles from the trucks running under our authority. And at the end of the week, we're looking at one or two accidents that we certainly wish we could get a mulligan on and redo it. But over 16 million miles or so, I think it's very, very impressive. I want to thank you for that. But there's always room for improvement. Let's stay focused on safety. Each individual person, if you take care of yourself, everything is going to be good out there. I'm confident. You guys do a fantastic job. We just want to continue to build on that foundation that we've got.
No doubt. And it's amazing. 15, 16 million miles. Think about it. A week. Yeah. And most four-wheelers out there, where they drive 15,000 maybe in a year. And our trucks are averaging over 100,000 miles a week or a year, compared to that. So it's amazing when the exposure our operators get out there for accidents and things to happen. And just driving defensively. That's what it's about right there. Looking out far enough, limiting your distractions, keeping that proper following distance at all times, and that'll keep you out of many situations where you won't have accidents. So
Absolutely.
all
Absolutely.
right. Should we get up another speaker?
Yeah. Give me one sec here.
Oh, go ahead.
You know,
Go ahead.
yeah. We're going to switch gears here a little bit. You know, Dave and I, we were hired from the outside, but then I think folks here smarter than us kind of smartened up and said, if you're going to put people in safety in responsible roles, maybe we should get people from within the company. So if we were doing it now, Dave and I probably wouldn't have made it. And, you know, I'm kind of referring to Bill Sprague that we brought in from the citations department, and also Dennis Davis. I'm going to bring Dennis up here. Dennis started here as an intern, you know, just a little tiny kid from Missouri State, and must have done okay. And he went to nights, and then he went to days, all in operations. And then about 5 years ago, I stole him from operations because I needed a safety supervisor. And, you know, Dennis was the right person for the job, and I've been extremely proud of what he's done. And he brings a nice balancing effect, or maybe a slightly different view, having been in operations so long and working with the drivers one-on-one every day. And, you know, where I'm going with this is we're going to add another safety supervisor to the safety department. And I want Dennis to kind of introduce who we're going to add and maybe kind of see where it takes us. So Dennis, the floor is yours.
All right. Good morning, Steve. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Dennis Davis, and I'm one of the safety supervisors here at Prime. And like Steve said, about 5 years ago, I was kind of in this position where, you know, an opportunity became available, and, you know, I was nervous. You know, I knew that there would be an ultimate, you know, learning curve and kind of shifting of a mindset to make sure that we're, you know, in line with the other guys, Steve and Bill and Dave and our buddy Ricky up in Pittston. So, you know, one of the things about Prime we always talk about is growth. And you know, one of the key phrases around here that Robert coined is, without growth, there's no growth. But that's really consistent about change as well. So, you know, without change, there's no change. And one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to add a person to our safety department. So I'd like to bring John Hardin up. Everybody give him a round of applause. So just to kind of give you a quick background about John, you know, he's no intern by any means, you know, and as Steve talked about, you know, our goal a lot of times is, you know, to grow from within. You know, we see some talent, we see somebody who, in John's, you know, specific situation, you know, it's always great for the safety department to bring, and if I got the number wrong, correct me, almost 20 years of Prime culture and Prime experience to the safety department. Is that right?
Yes, 18 and a half.
18 and a half. So, you know, moving, you know, starting on Monday, we're going to start to, you know, kind of, you know, for lack of a better term, onboard John into the safety department. It's crazy to say that you got to onboard a 20, almost 18-year associate into your department. But, you know, John, I sat in those shoes, you know, just a couple years ago, having some pretty significant Prime experience. And now, you know, we get to haze you a little bit and bring you on to the team. So welcome. Good morning.
Thank you, and I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to, you know, getting back to working with more of you. I've been over in the intermodal department for about 7 years now. Before that, I was an over-the-road fleet manager. I was there for 11 years. So looking forward to bringing all that experience to the safety department.
Yeah, so, you know, John, 11 years as a fleet manager. I mean, John worked together at nights almost 2 decades ago. You know, you were a little bit older than I was, but, you know, fresh kids, you know, not too long out of college, you know, working those 14-hour shifts overnight. So, yeah, look at us now, right?
Exactly. Lots of good stories from those.
No, we're not going to mention those stories, but
sure.
All right, you know, and so, you know, moving forward, you'll see a lot of communication from John. You might get some calls whenever you call in, have questions, or want to converse with somebody in the safety department. You know, John may be one of the folks that feels that call and you know, feel comfortable with the information that he's able to get you. You know, 5 years ago when Steve Field brought me along, I think we got a strong single from a baseball perspective, strong base hit. I think I did okay, but I think bringing John to the department is a sheer home run, you know.
Well, I appreciate that very much. Looking forward to it.
All right. Does anybody have any questions for us or John right away? Don't beat him up too bad. We got to get him trained up a little bit. But if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you know, John and I will be hanging out after the meeting and be glad to converse with any of you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Do you believe Dennis was nervous when he first started in our department?
Now he's never met a Mike he doesn't like now. Dennis
Exactly.
Davis.
That's the man right there. No doubt about it. So let's move on. You know, we're talking about accidents, Steve, and, you know, making sure, you know, hopefully we don't have any. But if we do, there's definitely a proper way to handle them and follow up. And it's so important as a driver that you protect number one, protect yourself. If you're at the scene of an accident, you know, there's certain things we want you to do, certain things we maybe don't want you to do. And not only that, when you're protecting yourself, you're protecting us as a whole as well. So, anything to add to that one?
No, I think you got a couple of guests.
We do by
Yeah.
chance. So yeah, this morning we have Ruthie, Kelley, and Kevin French from our claims department, and they're going to come up here and they're going to discuss what to do, what not to do, and how important it is after an accident happens for a driver to get on board and start following up on it. So here you go, buddy.
I guess I go first. My name's Kevin French. This is my coworker, Ruthie Kelley. We're in accident claims. So what that means is when there's a problem, when you guys have been involved in an accident, you contact safety. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to contact safety quickly. If you wait several hours until the scene is cleared or everybody's gone home, the police have left, that's bad. We're behind the 8 ball because now we're trying to catch up and figure out what exactly happened. It's to protect you. It's to protect Prime. We need to know as soon as possible if we need to get an adjuster out there, if we need to get somebody on the ground to help you protect yourself and Prime. So that's one of the main things that you want to do is contact safety as quickly as possible. I'm going to turn it over to Ruthie because what she's going to talk about is actually relevant to that, and then I'll take over after
He
that.
just wants me to go first. Okay, so we know when you're in an accident, it's really kind of rattling. It can be scary, it can be annoying or whatever, but hope to give you a couple of pointers when you're in the middle of that so you can kind of think back and do a couple of things that we in claims find really important so we can, you know, help be on your side and protect you guys. And one of the big things are photos. I know it's hard to think of when you're in the middle of something, but photos are so important when we're talking about an accident. We really encourage you to take a lot of photos, and when you've taken 100 photos, take a couple more, and then we're probably good. Some of the best things to take photos of that people don't think of a lot are the scene, like where it happened, where everybody stopped at, your vehicle, their vehicle, just so we have a good idea what maybe went on. And then when you do have an accident and you know you backed into a bollard pole or trash can or something happened, and you say there's no damage, take a picture and show us there's no damage. A lot of times, I don't think you guys realize they call us and say, no, there was damage, but it could have happened after you guys later on. So we want to make sure, no, our driver took this photo, there's no damage, we're not going to pay out on that. We don't charge you your deductible. And then some other things that are real important to take a picture of is the other vehicle, if it's another truck. Their door info on their door, their DOT number, just make sure you get all their information, especially if they're trying to drive away. That's the best thing to get. So we can turn that over to Subro and then we can work on your behalf to get your truck repaired. And then one other thing, a lot of times people say we hit something and you don't think you did. So the best thing to do, if you can say, these are the measurements, here's where their car was hit, here's where my trailer ends, I didn't do that. So that's really good in helping us assist you guys and not having to worry about that deductible and put it on you to get your truck fixed or fix their stuff. So I did have a couple examples. We can bring those up of some pictures that are good and some that aren't so good, just so we can see what those are. Just wherever. Okay, so it looks like we're starting with good ones. That's a good picture, the front of somebody's vehicle. Looks like the deer guard got bumped off. And as you'll notice, they took some steps back to take this picture. It's not right up on it. So we have a pretty good view of the lot and where it happened. And just a full view of that entire deer guard being pulled down. There's another one, and they have not only the damage to it, but they also have all the door information, the DOT information. And also you can tell they've taken at least 5-6 steps back to get all of that in the picture. You see there's some damage on their front fender there. A lot of times we get photos where they're right on that and we don't even know where it is on the truck. So that doesn't help us out a lot trying to protect you guys when we're trying to prove a point of impact, like how an accident may have happened. And then again, just some steps back to see the whole front right of that truck to see what had happened. And again, just a few steps back, trying to really drive that few steps back home, drive that home. And then of course, damage to a guardrail. We get a lot of photos that show a lot of silver guardrails with black or paint transfer on it. We need, this is a good example that shows the complete damage. So we know we're not paying for 10 guardrail sets, just one little section there. And also, we do get a lot of these somebody drove through my yard claims. Just make sure that you're getting the most you can in that, not up on tire tracks, anything like that. Just give us a full view of what's going on. And again, there's the door info, important to get. I'm going to show you some not so great examples, what we get sometimes. It's hard for us, and it's hard for us to protect you guys if we can't tell what's going on. We don't want to give anybody else the upper hand. I did get this, not really sure what that's a picture of. I know it's a car. I don't see anything wrong on there, just a little scuff. But a few steps back would have helped out a little bit. Again, just too close to the damage, can't really tell what's going on. If you are going to take a picture like that, just make sure you take another one where you're a few steps back. I have absolutely no idea what's happening here. This photo, don't be that close. It can't, especially on a black, dark vehicle, you can't tell anything. Again, if you're going to take a photo like this, make sure you take one that is at least 3, 4, or 5 steps back. And same on this one. And this one would have been helpful if they would have got all the information in it. But surely we didn't just do this little bit of damage. So that whole side of the truck, we probably need a good picture of. And I don't even know what's happening there. It's so dark and blurry. So those aren't good. They come in by accident, but honestly, this was the only photo I got on that one. So anyway, those are some examples. So when you're out there and something happens, just try to think of those things and take some photos. And then you're asking yourself, how do I send those photos in? I have a handy PowerPoint to show you. So safety says this is how they want you to send your photos. So open up your apps, you click those 3 bars up there on your top left, and report accidents is where we go. It's the triangle with a little exclamation point in the middle. That's really important. They seem to go to different ones. So just try to remember, always report accident. You click on that and hit step 2. That's to load your photos. If you haven't reported your accident yet, then you can start with number 1. But number 2, that's just for photos. Just click on that and then you click next. And then it'll bring up your camera. And then you can just click this little thing here on the left and that'll go straight to your photos. And then you choose one photo at a time. So you just choose that photo. And then you say, send it if that's all you have, which I hope it's not. But if that's all you have, just send it. And then at the bottom, you have the opportunity to add another page. So you would click that to send multiple photos. And I believe that's it. Yes, okay. And now Kevin's going to talk to you about deductible.
I would add that when you talked about measurements and things
Yeah.
like that, a couple things to think about is just having a tape measure in your truck so you can put it
Yes.
down on the ground. Also, those are helpful to show the size of an impact. If you
Mhm.
don't have a tape measure, get a common object, dollar bill,
A banana.
a banana, well, preferably something that's always the same size. That way you can put that up against a quarter, something like that, to show this relative size
Mhm.
of the impact. If it's just a little scratch, like she said, when you have a really close photo, in the photo, if the scratch is this big, that doesn't tell us that in reality, it's only this
Yeah.
big.
And we're 100% you guys as allies, and all of that stuff is just to help us make sure that you're not paying anything out of your check that you probably shouldn't be paying. So we just want to make sure that we're helping you guys as much as possible.
So that brings us up to the deductibles, everybody's favorite topic. There are 3 different deductibles that can get charged to you from an accident, at least that are related to the claims department. First is if you damage your tractor, there's a $1,000 deductible for that. If you damage a trailer, there's a $500 deductible for that. And then where Ruthie and I come in is if you damage somebody else's property, there's a $500 liability deductible. Now, on all the deductibles, we charge them up front, so that way they hit you when you know the accident happened, not 2 or 3 months later when you're not expecting it. And this way you can help budget for things because you know when they're going to happen. Also, an important thing to remember about a deductible is if, let's say you have a damage to a trailer, if the repair comes back and it's less than the $500, you get that refunded back to you. So for example, if the repair only cost $150, you're going to get that other $350 back. We don't keep it. Prime doesn't keep it. If it's more than the $500 worth of damage, Prime picks up the rest of that. So the deductibles are there to limit your exposure. They're there to help you and keep more money in your pocket than take out. Now with a liability deductible, the same thing applies. If we find out that, let's say you hit a sign, it may be that, like a street stop sign or something like that, you're around on the corner, cut it too sharp and hit a street sign. It may be that it's going to cost more than $100 because you've got a municipality or something like that. It's going to charge you, to put it up. Some of them are nice. They don't charge it. If they don't, then like I said, you'll get your money back. We go through the deductibles every month. There's what's called a statute of limitations. So every claim has a certain amount of time. Most states, it's 2 to 3 years that the other party has to submit a claim to Prime. If they don't submit a claim to Prime, we can close the claim out. So what we do is we go through every month and give money back to the drivers who there hasn't been a claim filed when they've been charged a deductible. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is, pot of gold under that rainbow when you do get that money back. And we do go through, like I said, every month and find those out and give them back to the drivers. Are there any questions?
Let me just throw a couple things out here. We've got 3 adjusters. Cammie's not here today. Cammie normally handles the more serious claims, but I've seen a lot of claims adjusters go through over the years. And the 3 that we have right now are the absolute best. They are an advocate for you. They do have a job to do. It's a difficult job. It's a challenging job. You're dealing with an irate motorist that wants their car fixed or whatever the issue may be, but they are out there battling for you every day. You may not always agree with their decisions. You can bring those to them. You can bring them to the safety department, to your fleet manager, so we can discuss them. Everything we will be glad to take a look at. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to one rule. If we owe it, we owe it. If we cause the damage, we owe it. And you may say, oh, there wasn't that much damage. That's where the pictures come in. It's so important that you get the pictures. And as Kevin said at the very beginning, that you report the accident in a timely manner. Now, for all the miles we drive, we do have very few accidents, but let's handle each one in the right way. And it makes it a lot easier for our claims adjusters to have a very challenging job there to make sure they do look out for your interests, but also do the right thing. Do we have any questions for them while they're up here? If not, they sit right up by the safety department. They're right there with us. We work with them daily, answering questions, trying to help them, and we share information routinely. Thank you, Ruthie. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate you guys being here today.
Hey, Steve, one other thing I think we need to talk about real quick, injuries. If there's an injury you're involved with, somebody hits you, even you get rear-ended and somebody's hurt, get a hold of safety immediately. Because what's going to usually happens on injuries is we'll get an adjuster sent to the scene, and they will investigate even further than what you can do. And they'll the police with witnesses, and that's another avenue too. If you see somebody that has witnessed the accident, some guy goes, hey, I saw him hit your truck, get their information. You know, that's valuable as well. So all that comes into protecting you and protecting us as a whole. And that's what this is about. This is a partnership, no doubt. And injuries can be very expensive. Even if you think it's not your fault, if they end up filing a lawsuit against us, it just takes it down the road and costs more money, rather than we can get an adjuster there quicker. You know, seconds, minutes are valuable after an accident. That's why you got to get out of your truck, start taking pictures, start documenting, getting evidence. Because police, they're just going to show up and just do a report, and they're going to separate you. They're going to tell you to get back in your truck. They don't want any confrontation, anything like that. And that's the way they're going to handle it. So when you get out there, you can be the offensive team, and you start documenting information. That's what you want to be. So.
Good point, Dave. Appreciate
Let's move on, should we?
Brought that up. You know, the last couple of years have been challenging. I'm not going to mention the C word. We've talked about that enough, but there's also been other challenges. Obviously, one that we're intimately aware of is the supply chain and what a critical role you play in keeping the supply chain moving. But there's been challenges for our shop. So we've got Jordan Silva here today, and Jordan works in our shop, does a great job out there trying to make sure we can get those elusive parts that we need to fix your truck. So, Jordan, it's good to have you here today.
Thanks, Steve.
Tell us what you got.
Really appreciate it. No, first I want to start off. My name is Jordan Silva, and I do oversee the parts department across Prime. As you can imagine, well, first of all, thank you, drivers, for what you do. The supply chain is directly affected to you, to me, to all of us as a team. Now, how we address that, how we go about that, has been an obstacle, and I think we all know that very, very well. You know, one thing that we see, and I think it's become our norm, I think it's become just what we feel is usual, is we drive by a car lot, there's no cars. Go to a grocery store, this shelf might not have anything, right? That's affecting us, and we deal with it every day. Every day we have a new obstacle that we have to work with. I want to talk specifically about our trailers and our tractors, what we're seeing. The good news is trailers are getting built as of right now. That's good. We're starting to see supply. We're starting to see fill rates grow as we're starting to see trailers come back online. Raw materials are still an issue. Getting components to build foam. I don't know if you're aware of this, and some of our new drivers are here. One unique thing we did is we went up to Chicago. We bought all the foam that was at Menards. It's a pretty unique story. If you want to hear the details, come talk to me afterwards. But, you know, we have a great leader over here who gave us the green light. He said, if it's available, go find it and get it. Our units run. That's our main goal. I credit each department in each location because we don't just take a phone call. We continue to push. We continue to call, and we find what we need. On the tractor side, it's a roller coaster. I'm going to be honest, you know, right when you catch your breath, there's that one product you're getting day after day that goes off the market. So what have we done? We started planning ahead. 6 weeks, 6 months, 9 months. We're going to be in this till 23. I believe it's going to be another rough 6 months that we're going to all handle, but we have trailer loads of product. We've started to get ahead of the game. As we hear maybe the Northeast might not have anything, well, what do? We go to the West Coast and we say, well, what product is available? How much do you have? How many pallets do you have? We'll take it all. And then we'll bring it back here. We'll disperse evenly, and we'll make sure that if a tractor needs anything, if a trailer needs anything, we're going to move it. Just this past week, We had an issue. We found some product. We overnighted it and we got it moving. That's what we're doing day to day. And again, it goes to a lot of credit to the departments, to the people who are in PA, Salt Lake, Laredo. It doesn't matter, Manuka, now that we have them online, we're still pushing through it. I do want to say, as we plan, as we continue this, as it does, we know it's not going to go away. We want to be thankful for our partnerships that we have. You know, we have a lot of our vendors that are sitting back here. A lot of those vendors wear different hats, but they're all Prime at heart. You know, I can call these guys at 9 o'clock at night. They're willing to pick up. They're willing to say, let me see what I can find. And I appreciate that. Not only that, we're finding new relationships. You know, we're knocking on doors that we've never knocked on before. And people are stepping up to the challenge. And it is a challenge every day. So, you know, I encourage you. I thank you for all that you have done and continue to do, because what you're doing is actually helping what I do in my day to day. And again, when I say our units roll, I do mean that. We find product. And if you need assistance finding product, let us know. There's a lot of drivers out there, and there's a lot of drivers that are probably watching in. You're over the road. Your dealer can't get it. Your road assistant will call. Usually they come and call us. We're the ones that usually have that product. We try to stockpile what we can, and that's only to support you guys. So thank you for all that you do. Again, I'll be around. I know we're kind of running late. I'll be around for question. Yes.
What's being done about the Qualcomms?
On the IBGs?
Yeah, how come we can't use them when they've been shut down for weeks now?
So they've been here for 2 days working on that. There's some sort of internal issue with them, not us. That's been the issue.
But we are taking care of it.
Correct.
Yeah, it's back up now. We're as frustrated as you are with the issue. We're in discussions with them.
I've been on duty driving for $300.
We'll get it fixed for you. Any questions for Jordan while he's up here? As he said, if not, he'll be hanging around here. Don't be shy to give me your suggestions or your thoughts right up in front. Let me get you a mic, sir.
One issue with the Qualcomm is on the ELD, and I've had this with previous trucks too, is when you're driving a heavy wind, it throws fault codes on the ELD since they went to the ELD that we got now.
I have not heard that. When that happens to you again, it sounds like it's happened more than once. Get with the log department, get with Susan down there and let us research it, because I have not heard that before and we need to dig into it.
I brought it up with the shop and both here and in Salt Lake, and they don't know what to do on it. And they've tried rebooting it and everything. Like I said, I've had the same issue on other trucks too.
Okay, when it happens again, get with Susan. She'll make sure we dig into it.
And also, what's going on with the pre-pass? Because I've been getting red lights at all the weight stations, even though we are good on the CSA deal.
Well, the scales do have the last authority on whether they're going to pass someone or not. At the end of the day, hopefully it's $100 for each time they pull you in. We do know it's a convenience to have it, but at the end of the day, it's up to the scale master.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Jordan. We appreciate you being here today.
Appreciate it. We're good.
No, we kind of talked about safety. We talked about maintenance. Let's go ahead and talk about another issue, and that's really talking about you. And I'm going to ask Rachel to come up. Rachel's in our driver health and fitness, and we really can't overemphasize or talk too much about the importance of you guys maintaining your health. It's so important. I already said it once, but your family's depending on you. They're depending on you, and you need to be healthy. You need to be taking care of yourself. And we're real fortunate to have Matt Hancock and Rachel's got the floor today. Looks like you might be leaving us here.
I am, yeah. But to start out, Brianne, could you play that video for me, please? This is a success story from a driver who's been with Prime for a while.
My name's Roland Shepard.
And he
I
was
go
in our
by
Fit
Dave.
15.
61 years old. I've been with Prime 2 years now in the flatbed division. I got involved in this driver health and fitness program with the goal to lose weight and to learn nutrition a little better, as well as cooking in the truck. Tired of eating out. I participated in this last program, was able to lose about 20-something pounds. The program is very well put together. The discipline to follow it is probably the key to it. The nutrition side of it is what I probably got the biggest bang out of. Following the calorie intake per day, looking at the macronutrients, eating properly, cut out the sugars and the sweets, the soft drinks, and just follow the recommendations, and it works. Just taking that extra 15, 20 minutes, whether it's in the morning or in the evening, to follow the exercise routine. The other big factor is accountability. I mean, I know that you guys call us and talk to us, but both my son and I are drivers, and we kept each other accountable. We would talk to each other every couple of days, see how we were doing, encourage each other to stick to the program. I also purchased one of these diesel watches that you can use the Connect app, which also gives you additional accountability and additional information. So it's all about discipline, accountability, and being healthy. But highly recommend it. Matt, Rachel, thank you for what you guys have done. I mean, this is really a good thing. So I encourage you highly to participate.
Okay, so as you can see up there, if you are interested in making any health changes, you can go to driverhealthandfitness.com and sign up for our Fit in 15 program. But before I talk about it a little bit, is there anyone out here who's tried to make a health change and then you just kind of fall off the wagon a couple weeks later, or maybe a day later? Kind of a show of hands. So I think if we were honest, we'd probably all raise our hand. So that is, it's hard. It's hard to make changes. I'm sure you can notice that there, Dave, he's not really a spring chicken, right? I mean, old dogs can learn new tricks, okay? So that's kind of what Matt and myself and Maria out in Pittston, that's what we're here to help with. We have this program out there that you can follow along to for 12 weeks on your phone. So every day you've got something to do, you've got a workout to follow, you have recipes to make, you have some type of accountability touch point with one of us every single week, and we're just trying to help you guys get healthier. So yeah, any questions about that, about the program, about how to get into it? And does anyone know if there's cost associated with our programs? Yeah, awesome. Thank you. They are free. So if you go onto that website, driverhealthandfitness.com, all of our services there are free. Yeah, so
Any questions for Rachel? We're very fortunate to have her and Matt. I hope you're coming back.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I'll be back
Good deal.
September. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Rachel. Appreciate you being here. A couple things before I, pass the mic to our two final speakers. You may say, well, why do you have a health and fitness? Why do you have this big facility right here? Why does Prime do that? We're a trucking company. Well, it's important to us that you're all taken care of, that whatever we can do, whether it's something as simple as starting a health and fitness program or giving you a place where you can get a meal 24 hours a day, or someone says hi to you in the hallway, all of that is important to us because it really shows that our respect that we have for you, and there's not enough respect. And I said I wouldn't say the C word, so I won't say it, but maybe over the last couple of years, the general public has realized the role that truckers play in our economy and keeping our company our country going. Any problem that's out there is going to be solved by truckers. It doesn't matter what it is, somehow truckers are going to be involved. So that's why we do these things, and we do them to show the respect that we have for you. And it's our responsibility to make sure we do whatever we can do to make your life maybe just a little bit easier, because it is a challenging job. It can be a dangerous job out there, and we need every one of you. So again, we thank you for what you do. We've heard twice today talking about the app. I think Dave had mentioned it, and then Ruthie talked about it. If you're having trouble with the app, you're not sure how it works, Richard and Brianne over here, if you'd see them after the meeting, get with them. This technology stuff, it's a challenge for me. That's the truth be known. That's the real reason we brought Dennis to safety, because none of us knew what we were doing with technology, and Dennis has really helped us with that. So please make sure you see them. And finally, before I pass the mic, it's always an honor to be able to ask all our veterans to stand. If you've defended our country, if you were in the armed forces, would you please stand so we can recognize you this morning, please? Thank you all for your service. I'd like to introduce Steve Wutke, our Vice President of Sales and Marketing.
Hey, good morning. Good to see y'all. Steve's correct. I'm in sales. Today, I'd like to just take a moment and recap a couple of things that you heard. Our claims people they really do a heck of a job. And they have one thing in mind, and that is to protect you all as the very best they can. And in order to do that, as they explain, they need good, accurate information. They need factual data. They need the evidence. They need everything you can get. So please listen to what they've shared with you. It's extremely important and ultimately will make a big difference, or could make a big difference in how we settle a claim. Really, the same is true on cargo. We have some folks that handle the cargo losses. And once again, it is about getting good, accurate information, the seal intact, and checking the temperature and get pictures of the product, and just protect yourself. As it relates to safety, and it is a safety meeting, it's our highest calling. There is nothing more important that you do out there than be safe. And you need to really think about that. When you get ready for your driving shift, you need to be on your A game, ready to go. You can't be distracted. We just need you to be safe. On the sales side, business is really good. The holiday backed us up just a little bit. We're getting our network balanced again. The people that are out there running are really doing a great job, and they have a lot of freight to handle. So we're looking forward now to a good run until the next holiday. We just need to do it safely, take care of yourselves. Rates are continuing to move up. So we are in a great position with our customer base. If we look at our top 20, we've had significant growth year over year with those customers. We're bringing on some new customers as well. So we just got a good thing going, a lot of momentum. For you new folks that are joining us, we're proud that you've chosen our company. I think you made a great decision. If when you were recruited, somebody told you we were perfect, that's not correct. We are flawed in quite a few ways, but every day we want to get a little bit better. And we get that by getting feedback from you all as our eyes and ears out there on the road. So once again, I thank you for all you do. I think if you look around our company here, you'll see trophies, you'll see recognition for being the very best carriers that many of our customers have. And it is driven by what you do every day, the service you give us, and we really can't thank you enough. I'd like to introduce the owner of our company, Robert Lowe, who started this a few years ago. Started with one truck, just like many of you, and kind of gutted it out.
A few. You call 52 a few? Man, oh man.
I didn't want to quote the actual.
A lot. Man, oh man. He's been here 39 years. I don't know if he's going to make 40, but he made 39.
Yeah, that's 39 times you said that.
He's pretty good. And I meant it too. Business is good. We went up to Pittston last night, had a celebration. Prime really is a leader. Our tanker division, our flatbed division, very important to us. We love all our trucks, but let's be real. Our core refrigerated division is kind of where we came from, right? We achieved $2 billion in revenue just in reefer. Now, our next closest competitor is less than half our size. They achieve less than 1 billion. Now, what does that do for? What does that mean? What does that mean to you? Well, when we have power, negotiating power, our customers listen to us. We love our customers too, but they need to listen to us, right? And we have a lot of capacity. We can offer them a lot of things that our smaller competitors can't do. And for those smaller competitors might be dialed in on FaceTime or whatever it is, watch out, because we're coming after you too. We want all that good business, right? Because that enables us to do things in the marketplace that others can't match. Our freight network is very, very powerful. The combination of loads and routes and rates, we work on them all the time. We have some really smart people. Even Keith is one of them right here. And we work on it continually. We have a lot of technology that helps us with it. But what powers that really is the size and scope. Now, how do we get to this point? It's folks like you all. You know, drivers, getting started, those of you that are new to us, our longtime hands, delivering that good service, good, reliable, keeping our promises to our customers. That's all very important. And we intend to continue to do that because that benefit, again, accrues to our whole team. That's the kind of company we want to be. It's the kind of company we want to be that has growth and brings all our folks, all our family, because your family now, brings all our family with us as we grow and prosper. It's very important. And if you find that not to be the case, you let us know. Steve said, we're a long way from perfect, but we're working on it. We recognize that we have shortcomings and sometimes we might neglect a certain area. Well, that's not our intent. We're not going to just apologize for it. We're going to get in there and fix it, whatever it might be. I appreciate what you all do, Steve.
Yes, one other thing. You all see a lot of red here. There's a reason. Remember, everyone deployed. We're very grateful to those that are serving, and that's indicative of that. So thank you all. Thank you, everybody that served in our country. All of you veterans out there driving, whether it's for us or somebody else, we thank you for your service to our country.
Absolutely. Okay, folks. Another week in the books. Holiday week, a little bit spotty here and there, but I tell you what, we're way ahead of whoever's in second place, I promise you. God bless each of you and please be safe.
Thanks, sir.